This is the Sunday Tar Heel. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Nathan and Alan here. We are your heel brothers in the wrong boxes. Now we are in the correct. Don't you love it? It's a Sunday afternoon, post lunch, and it's a good time, man. Holy cow, dude! A lot has happened this week. And there's been an NBA draft. There's been, as you guys saw, if you guys watched coming into the Sunday Tar Heel, the announcement that we got to make earlier on this week. We both seemingly have had haircuts, and what do you got going on over there, man? This isn't an Allen. This isn't an Allen do. I know that much now. That is
You don't think I could line myself up this good?
No, no.
No,
No, man. No. Who'd you go see? How'd you go see him? And what they did they even they got you lined up around the top of the head there, like on the forehead, man. Look at you go, bro.
Shout
They
out to the
did.
guys over at what is that called? No Grease.
I don't know that place.
It's a bar shop, No Grease, in the Charlotte Premium Outlets.
Oh, that's what you were doing up there. No, I guess I finally know what you bought for yourself.
Yeah.
There you go.
This happened after the I haven't bought anything for myself conversation.
Yeah, man. Holy cow, dude. No, I was out on a golf course practically vast majority of the day. And then once I got done there, I went and got myself a haircut and then ended up having to go cut the church grass. So I did that. And now we are here. It's been a wild Sunday. It's been a wild weekend. It's been a wild week. Next week is bound to be even wilder because it's the beginning of July. It's July the 4th. This coming week, we got a ton of stuff going on. And boy, where do we want to start, man? Where do we want to start today? We got a couple different things that we could talk about. First off, again,
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning of this week was crazy. What's going on, Ron? How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, dude.
What's up,
matter
bud?
Of fact, I'll set this up here. But as a matter of fact, this week started off with a bang. That bang being, hey, by the way, if you go sign up here, we can get you credentialed to come to ACC Media Day. We're doing that. Less than a month, dude. We have got it is June the 29th. And days are counting down.
We got credentials.
We got credentials. We got the emails. We got the confirmation emails. We got all that good jazz. We got the details of what to do. And we're going to ACC Media Day. Holy cow, that's flipping ridiculous, and it's exciting. And we got some stuff to get done before we get there, so we'll be doing that. Are you going to ask Donut Dave questions? Sure. Sure. Why not, man? Whoever I see there, I'm going to be people are going to hate me. Because I was just be like, hi, would you remember like in the end of school year, you're like, could you sign my yearbook? I'm going to be that kid. I'm going to be that guy. Congrats on that. Finally, an insider that will give us the good. I don't know about all that now. I don't know if I'm that credentialed though. Alan, dude.
I think it's the light. I don't think I have enough light.
Well, you can always get one of these little ring lights like I got. Didn't you get one?
I have one. I just thought there would be enough natural lighting that I wouldn't need it. Uno momento, por favor.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I have this little light. I have like 8 lights going on right now. It's ridiculous. But yeah, 100%. We are looking forward to going to that and seeing what that's going to be like. I'm going to take full advantage of that moment and do my best to try and network with as many people as humanly possible. That way, you guys can get some more content, and that we can, potentially have some more people to talk to as well. Because first off, we know we're talking to AJ. I've already contacted AJ. We talked this week, and we'll be meeting up. So that's going to be happening. That's going to be flipping cool to do. So I'm looking forward to that. And obviously, there's just going to be a ton of people there. We're going to try and get you every interview as possible, UNC related, of course. Unless you guys are just crazy and just want Clemson and everything else. Alan is auditioning for The Walking Dead. I like it, Rod. I can't wait for him to come back and hear that and see that. That is hilarious. That's funny. But not only that, and I'll kind of wait for him to get back, but dude, we had an NBA draft this week, man, and our guys, our guys are going to the NBA. Drake Powell is going to the Brooklyn Nets. He got drafted originally by the Atlanta Hawks, but he was quickly traded and shipped off with the package. I forget exactly who got traded, but somebody got traded, and then it was a part of the deal was him being traded to Brooklyn. So Brooklyn now gets Drake Powell. And you're right, Kevin. Drake Powell did come to the summer camp the day after he was drafted too, which is pretty doggone cool. And I'll get your thoughts on that in just a quick second, Alan. But also, Drake May married. Drake May's finally married. Him and his longtime girlfriend since
Hitched.
seventh grade, dude.
He's hitched.
And what's crazy is you look at pictures of the both of them back when they were in the middle school, they look the same as they do now. Obviously, Drake and they're taller than they were then, but for the most part, they look
I would
the
hope so.
same. Like, holy cow, dude. But yeah, Drake Powell to the Brooklyn Nets. What do you think, man? The Brooklyn Tar Heels. My bad. Dayron Sharp, Cam Johnson, Drake Powell.
I'll be interested if Brooklyn keeps Cam.
He's a valuable asset. I know that much. Teams are going to want him. Teams will definitely want him for sure.
Yeah. Because him and Drake will likely play the same position.
Him and who?
Drake.
Power forward. Cam's playing power forward.
He's playing the 4 spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small team.
Yeah, they're not the biggest. Do they still have Nick Claxton over there? I haven't kept up much with Brooklyn ever since the blowing up of Durant and Irving and Harden. But
Yeah.
I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens. I know I saw some reports that came out that people were like other executives were kind of laughing at the Nets picks. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I'll be
I don't
curious to
know.
see.
I need the Warriors to figure something out.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I need Steph to get one more ring before it goes.
You better hope you can pull off a Giannis trade. But
That too.
which I mean, I guess in out of the realm of possibility. But anyway, so you've got that, and then RJ Davis signed offseason or undrafted undrafted free agent to the Los Angeles Lakers. Curious to see what he does. Hopefully, we get to see him in summer league.
I wonder who's
And who
better,
knows?
him or Bronny.
I will. Well, Bronny's definitely better defensively. But offensively, I'm curious to see what happens there.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what he does on the next level. Obviously, we don't expect it's kind of funny. He's going the exact same route Joel Berry did going into the league. Went to the Lakers, undrafted, and then played on the South Bay Lakers, the G League affiliate, for a couple of years until ultimately he came over to the ACC huddle, which I think is perfect spot for Joel. Joel's in a great
Yeah.
spot where he's at. Still, he's my favorite player of all time. Love that guy. But RJ, looking forward to seeing what he does over there. But also, you've got was there one other? I thought two Tar Heels linked up outside of Drake and Cam. I could be wrong. I'd have to double check on that. But basketball
Caleb Love went unsigned, I think.
to Portland.
Portland.
He went to Portland. That's right. That's one I was thinking of as well. Caleb Love going to Portland, and I think they're pretty excited about him
Yeah.
as well. From what we're seeing, Portland, they're a team trying to find answers. They just got rid of Anthony Simons, their promising point guard, traded him out to Boston, and it was a part of that big three team or that no, that was the not the Porzingis trade. It was a part of the Drew Holiday trade. But Drew Holiday doesn't want to play for Portland, so they're thinking there's probably going to be a buyout or another trade there. So the point guard position over there seems to be kind of wide open. If he plays well enough, then maybe he could find himself on the roster. Be
Yeah.
curious to see what happens there. Wouldn't mind Armando Baycott being able to link back up with one of them, especially with the way that he's playing. Jesus Christ, like, man,
He's
he's
the
made
G
himself.
League king.
Yeah, dude, he's made himself into like a stretch five. I'm like, what? Where does this come from? I love it though. It's good stuff.
Been able to
But
play basketball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
he's been doing it for a long time, and now all of a sudden he's been playing basketball for a very long time. So I don't know. Somebody must have said like, hey, in order for your size, you're going to have to develop a shot because he's not a true center in the NBA. So maybe that was kind of the focus. Like, hey, you got to learn to get a shot, kid, and you got to be able to
Well, I
shoot
mean, even
consistently if you want to have a long career here.
but in school, you're still in school. You still have class.
Oh yeah,
You can't you can't be in the gym all morning, all afternoon, all day.
but I don't think some of
Because
the things that we're seeing now were stressed to him as much. Because like in college, he did exactly what he needed to do in college perfectly.
yeah,
He did a great job there. But
yeah,
now it's like, hey, if you're going to have a long career here, you need to do this. Like I know you
of
did this
course.
in college, which was great, but you need to do this here. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see what happens over there, man. I'm looking forward to seeing, the play. I'm curious to see how Drake does. Drake bet on himself this year, and he went and paid off. He went in the first round. He's going to get that, and now we move on. But hey, we did have a pretty good conversation with Linzel of 94 Feet of UNC on Friday night.
Friday night.
Friday night. I don't think it's released yet on his channel.
No,
It'll be on his channel.
sometime
It won't
this
be
week.
on ours. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we had a good conversation with him talking about basketball and the construction and everything. And just kind of overall, what do you think about the basketball team's construction? Like, you like it, dislike it?
They have a lot to prove.
Yeah, I could
I
see it.
think it could go either way. It really could.
If you were to bet on the under or the over, what'd you think?
On what? Over or under what?
Hitting their potential.
Under.
So you're not a big fan.
I don't know. North Carolina basketball is just in a weird place.
That's true. And I think that kind of stresses another thing, and this is kind of something that I'm going to be going into this week. Again, another video tease on the Sunday Tar Heel. But because last week we had Gio Lopez being the next Sam Howell. Did you get to watch that video?
Did I watch that video? I want to say
Wow.
I watched some of
Wow.
it.
Wow.
Hey, some of us are very busy.
Hey, hey, what do you do for work?
I deliver packages for UPS.
And okay, that is very true. And
Yeah.
during that day, what are you doing?
Working, delivering packages.
We already established that. Well, I see some AirPods in the mirrors, and typically those are in there. And he's listening
Hmm.
to
Music,
even your wife is in
audiobooks.
the chat. Yeah, not even the Hill Brothers. Not even your own podcast, your own
I
YouTube channel. Watching the kid.
no, you can't have in-cab distractions. You know that. I can't. I don't
But
have premium.
audiobooks, you don't just
I
listen. Hey, your wife is getting you in the chat of the Sunday Tar Heel, dude.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's messed up, Doc. All right. But no. So
I don't have
yeah, we
premium. I
had
can't. I'd have to leave it up, and when I leave it up in my pocket, it just goes haywire.
well, I always do the screen facing out. That helped me. Before I got premium. That was. but I've had premium for a number of years now, just because I like that
Yeah.
and YouTube Music together. But no, so going on what Tar Heel Ron's going on with. Ouch, truth comes out. I love Ron. I love him. I love that dude. Oh man, but I actually
Pile on
resaw
Island
the
Day, it looks
video.
like.
Yeah, that's it. I actually recently saw Ron's video of remember when we met him at the FAMU game with
Yeah.
Tori.
Hmm.
The video of him meeting he put up him meeting the Hill brothers and this, that, and the other thing, like right after we started the podcast. Like right after. Ron has been here since day one, dude.
Yeah, he's a lifer.
He's a lifer so far. It's kind of cool to see. And he's still loving us. And as always, go Hills. I always see that all the time from him. I love that. Which I didn't realize that was becoming a thing. But I guess I just it's kind of like the best outro for us. So I just use it. But
Yeah, that works for me.
right. But going back to the original thing that I'd started like 5 minutes ago, and I'm going to finish now. But so Ron asked the question, how long do you give HD? This is actually a topic that I'm going to go into this week. You guys will
This
probably
year.
get it. Yeah, and you're kind of still in my thunder, kid.
Oh,
Because I mean, think about it, and I'll give a brief little summation. How about this? If what we're hearing is rumored is true, and I haven't looked at message boards, I'm sure that you have. But if Carolina really spent 14 million in a roster reconstruction, you got the GM Tanner in Hubert Davis. If you do not have a good year this year, another one with the roster and the pieces that you brought in and the potential that they have, um, I do not see Hubert making it past this year. I just don't. And I'd hate that for him, but it's just the truth. Now, what I will say
yeah.
is that
North Carolina can and never should be a bubble team,
right, right,
and
right.
essentially that's what they become.
And Kevin says that is the intel. So if that really is what happened, that's a lot of money, man. And North Carolina's not ever been a team to spend money like that. Duke spent 22 million this past year. Now I don't know what they've got so far this year on their roster, but that brought in Cooper Flag and Sion James and Nipple and all those guys over there. So I mean, that brought in a lot. Now they didn't win it.
Nope.
In my
Thank
opinion,
you,
they
Houston.
should have.
Probably should have you. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think Florida. I think Florida. I had them beating Houston by losing to Florida. I just think
that is
Florida
true.
was a different animal.
Yeah, that Walker Clayton or Willie Clayton, whatever kid that dude was off the chain, man. Big time off the chain. But yeah, Hubert Davis is in a dangerous spot right now. And, we can either agree on that or disagree. That is what it is. We'll talk about it more this week in a video that I'll be doing, talking about everything that's kind of going on over there. So, what in the world happened over there?
The kids, everybody came home, and the 1 year old is just having a ball.
He seems to be having himself a great time.
Yeah, he knows no limits.
Last Monday, I came home from work and he was in there. He was not having a good time. But then I had a sandwich and he saw me with a piece of bread. And I'll be dog if that piece of bread was what saved him from crying for another 30 minutes. He got
Uh-huh.
that piece of bread. I just kept handing him little pieces of bread. Ashley walked in and saw me doing it. She's like, "What are you doing?" He just grabbed a piece of bread and smiled. He was just having himself
Well,
a good old, a real good old time. So
whatever works, whatever works.
no, he's cool.
Because when he's not happy, he's not happy. But when he's happy, he full of himself.
Hey, did you see where Gio Lopez just had like an interview like yesterday, day before yesterday? We have a visitor. There's little man.
Say hey, tell him hey.
I heard
You telling me?
we'll move the comments out the way. There we are. There's little man. Hey, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that is the future of the business. I'm handing
Yep.
it off to him in a few years. This is what we do on the Sunday Tar Heel. So he's already taken up.
Yep. He already knows his place.
He already knows what's up. But sure enough, so Gio Lopez was on. Somebody interviewed him at some type of camp or something like that, where they asked him about where he, like, what he was thinking about the coming to North Carolina. As a matter of fact, hold on a second, I might be able to find this thing. Have you saw this? You have not.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh man. Dang, I literally just saw it like yesterday. Interview.
Kevin said maybe it's the Manning camp. He said Max Johnson's
Uh,
there too.
matter of fact, I do believe that is true. So here we go. Tar Heel Times has got it here. North Carolina Geo talks with Bryce Kuhn of the Crowded Booth podcast at the Manning Passing Academy regarding his decision to transfer from North Carolina. Actually, as a matter of fact, hold on a second here. This is something we're going to be able to show here because it's like 2 minutes. So let's listen to this thing really quickly. Hold on a second. Let me
hear it. Let me hear it.
Was it from the MPA? Yes, Tar Heel Ron. It show was. Let me add this in. We'll just do a share screen.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. All right. So
You just got to talk about, I mean, I guess the whirlwind it was for you and the new home. I mean, what's it been like for you? How have you kind of acclimated to the new role?
I've acclimated pretty well, just having an opportunity to like that whole going into that summer, you get, that month off kind of deal. So I got to take time and be with my family and talk over the situation, and just one of those situations I couldn't pass up. And moving over there, Coach Belichick's been very helpful. Coach Kitchens, Matt Lombardi, our player director, personnel like Francie, they've all been helpful. So it's been good.
Talk about, I mean, obviously, you look at that staff, lots of NFL experience. When you went to kind of make that decision, I mean, how much did that play a role for you?
I mean, it plays a huge role. I mean, you go to a situation where it feels like everyone has great experience. Even with our wide receiver coach, Coach McGee, he played at Oklahoma and was an OC with Louisville, and like had those situations where he was able to call plays. Just this is like Will Friend and Freddie Kitchens and all these guys have so much experience I can learn from. I just it just feels like I can turn any corner I can walk into a mentor session. To be honest.
Last year, got the chance to watch you in Tiger Stadium, South Alabama, came play at LSU. I mean, just one of those things, man, for you. Why did you want to make this decision? And a lot of guys said, we just want to prove something else. What was kind of the leading factor for you?
The leading factor for me was, I just, of course, I love South Alabama. I love playing for Coach Apple. It was an amazing opportunity. But just the situation to play, bigger football and play in a situation where I can produce and, play for Coach Belichick, all in all, like, it's a hard situation to pass up. I feel like any quarterback would, struggle to pass that opportunity up. And, just be one of the first quarterbacks for Belichick would be, awesome.
I don't know how much you can talk about this, but we talked with some of the recruits that have taken visits in this next class, man. They talked about some of the guys on this roster, just seeing the early chemistry. What can you speak to? Just how have you been able to bond with your teammates?
This since summer one started with, classes and working out and, training, it feels really good. I already hang out with the guys. I went to Top Golf with them, hang out with them in the locker room. I feel like I'm around them as much as I possibly can be. And I've, gone close with the O-line, D-line already, defensive guys, offensive receivers, of course, running backs. Just everybody. I've just, it's crazy how fast you can make chemistry if you really care about it.
Last one for you. What are you hoping to prove? Maybe just personally. I know team goals are big for you, but what are you hoping personally to prove?
Of course, I want to, win every game. That's a natural response. But, for me, I just want to prove that I can play in this level. And, I know my big thing is my height. That's the big thing for me. And, like, there's a short opportunity that there's, like, it doesn't really matter from my, my point of view. And I'm going to play ball. And I'm fun to watch. I know I am.
quick thoughts. What you think?
I don't know, man. It's a summer interview. I mean, he's betting on himself. He mentioned his height and how he wants to prove that his height is not a factor. and he's excited about the opportunity to play for Coach Belichick.
He's definitely a pretty confident guy. That's for sure. You can tell that much now.
Yeah,
You
I
can tell
think
there's some games he's proud of.
yeah, and his I think he that interview right there just solidifies that he's my number one pick to be at ACC Media Day. He's the first off the board. Just
Yeah.
his ability to answer questions and not skirt them. Mm, mm,
Right.
complete sentences. I mean, a lot better than I can from pretty much. So
Well, I
it's
think for
okay.
him, we do too have to say, like, okay, this is also just a regular, like, he's got a little. I can't stand people that run around with these little cheap microphones that sound
Yeah,
horrific.
yeah,
But he's got a little microphone. It's this, that, and the other thing. It's a little bit different when you're standing up there in a suit and tie in front of media reporters. But I do think he'll be perfectly fine in front of everybody. I think he'll be great there. But he seems to me, he comes off as a guy that is very confident. He is
mhm,
100%. He definitely believes in himself and maybe even believes his own hype a little bit. Like that last few little comments
that's a
of,
good
"Hey,
question.
I've heard, I know I'm fun to watch. I know that I am. I'm fun to watch. I know I'm fun to watch." Just that thing. Like, okay, so we'll be curious to see what he does there. To Ron's point, I do like the chemistry deal. I do
Yeah,
like the chemistry deal. And for here's the thing, for North Carolina football this year, that's gonna have to be priority number one because a lot of these guys have never saw each other before.
yeah. No, it's
There's
almost
a
the same scale as Colorado had the first year they
oh yeah.
switched to uh, Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, basically a brand new team coming in. There are some familiar pieces, but for the most part, everybody's brand new. So the roster that you saw last year compared to this year is going to be a lot different. I'm actually so thankful that North Carolina is doing us a favor in sending out the graphics each day and each week of the jersey numbers because I'm
Yeah,
saving each one of them and I'm going to make myself a printout of all of them. That way, we're in the middle of watch parties, we're in the middle of talking about
yeah. Just make
teams.
two of those.
I
Make
can
two copies.
I can straight up look at this, say, oh, linebackers, flip to the linebackers page. Number 2 name is Curtis Simpson. I like that. I like that they're doing that for sure. But yeah, 100% love the chemistry deal. Kevin, you think there will be multiple quarterbacks at media day or just Geo? Alan, thoughts? Because I saw you have like a little reaction to that.
I mean, it made me think that maybe that he would take Gio and Bryce, but I just don't know if you take Bryce Baker. Not that he's not capable, because he is very capable. I don't. If you take both, that's- I think
That
that
definitely
might.
puts pressure on Geo.
I think that signifies that the QB position is not solidified,
Mhm.
and the position is up for grabs, so to speak. Which obviously it probably is, but at the same time, I don't really think that it is.
I'm quickly looking at. So last year, Connor Harrell and Max Johnson were there.
Hmm.
I had to double check and make sure because I thought I remember them both being there, but they were both
They
there. And
were.
well, obviously, that was open. That
No,
Carolina
I
was
don't
in
think
the
Max
middle.
goes.
My thing is, if it is going to be a 2 quarterback viewing at media day, that would be the reason with Max. Not because Bryce Baker isn't good or anything, but I think you've got Bryce Baker on ice because he's your future. Now, again,
Mhm.
another conversation I'd love to have this week is the quarterback room for North Carolina moving forward because Travis Burgess is coming. That kid is flying up the charts quick. And I
Yeah.
don't know how this quarterback room is going to be. It's a good problem to have. It's a dang good problem to have. But boy, it could get to a point like right now. I think Baker, projected wise, is better than Burgess, but Burgess is catching up quick, and he still has another year to go. You don't come until next year, so who knows what
Yeah.
he does in his senior season?
And you hope that Burgess has the mentality and the thinking that I don't have to come in and start game one of my freshman season. Like
That's a good
it's
point.
it's okay to sit and learn. I mean, look at what Drake did. Drake set a season. It looks like Bryce is going to see sit a season.
Is Burgess willing to sit possibly 2 seasons?
That's
That I mean, because you got to think you'd get 1 year of Bryce after he sits a year. You get 1 year, then it's like, okay, are you willing to sit 2? Now he redshirts 1, so he would be burning a year and then still have 3 years left technically. I don't. I mean, look at Arch Manning has been. How long has Arch been here? He was here for 2 seasons, right?
No, Arch was a freshman last year.
He was a freshman last year.
Hmm.
Okay, I thought he'd been sitting longer than that.
Did you see
Okay.
Steve Spurrier's comments on Arch Manning?
What do you say?
I looked that up.
This is recent.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me look this up here. Steve Spurrier. Oh, Arch Manning. It's the first thing that pops up.
Yeah,
Steve Spurrier
no.
sounds off on Arch Manning hype. What? No, one second here. Steve Spurrier. Okay. CBS Sports. Steve Spurrier half-baked swipe at Arch, a revival of long. No, well, I don't want this little pop-up menu. Go away. Pop-up menu. Leave. Well. Okay. Let's see here. Once the pop-up decides to, take a hike, I can do this a little bit easier. Aha, here we go. Now, fixation with the Manning family. Okay, so he's all right. Where's the
I think I'll paraphrase the quote until you find it. It was something to the effect of, um, people have already given Manning the Heisman Trophy. And if Manning was that good, if Manning is that good, then why was he sitting behind Ewers the entire season last season? If he's that good now to already being handed the Heisman Trophy for this season, and he's like, I'm just not sold that all the hype behind Arch Manning is real, because if he was that good, then he wouldn't have sat beside Quentin Ewers. He would not have sat behind Quentin Ewers all season last season. At some point, he would have taken over.
Okay, here we go. Blasts. There's not like a single clip of it, which is sad. Yeah,
I
there's
can't
no like
remember.
single clip I can find.
I can't
But
remember
dang,
where I
that's
read
pretty
it.
legit. To see that he's doing that. Holy cow. He said if he was that good, why did he sit behind? Okay, okay. So okay. Wow. All right. Well, Spurrier's always a guy that Spurrier comes off the cuff anyway. I've never been a big Spurrier fan. A lot of that has to do with his South Carolina run, just because I don't like South Carolina, which is another conversation that we can have this week. Um, maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. But that doesn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
here's the quote. They've got Arch Manning already winning the Heisman. If he was this good, then how come they let Quentin Ewers play all the time?
Spurrier did also coach at Puke. That's a long lost memory. That is true. That doesn't surprise me. Arch Manning, he does have a lot to prove. We don't know about him too terribly much. Now, some of the time we've been able to see him on the field, he's looked pretty decent at times. So I think he could be pretty good. Quinn Ewers is. I also kind of wondered the same thing because Quinn Ewers had a bad problem of turning the ball over, but he was also pretty daggum good for a college quarterback. He's pretty decent. To me, he was very similar to me of that of Cade Klubnik, a guy that was just kind of like, okay, he is who he is. He's not getting
Yeah.
any better, but he's at like the peak of who he's going to be. And I think that's where Cade
Yeah.
finds himself at this year.
Whose son is Arch? He's not
Eli's.
Peyton's son.
He's
It's
Eli's.
Eli's son.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Is it?
I
Eli's that old? I know it's not Peyton's son.
Yeah. I mean, both the Mannings are like Eli played into Cooper. Is it Ron says Cooper.
Yeah, it's Cooper Manning.
Uh
He is the oldest son of Cooper Manning, himself the eldest of the Archie Manning, and nephew of Cooper's NFL quarterback brothers, Peyton and Eli.
How old is Cooper?
Yeah, I don't. So did Cooper play? Like, I might be with Steve Spurrier here. Why? Just because you have the
51.
Manning last, just because you have the Manning last name doesn't mean you're going to be anything. Peyton and Eli were outstanding.
Well, he doesn't go. He isn't a 5-star quarterback going to Texas, for no reason. Like
I'm
he
not
was
saying
a
the boy can't
highly
play, but just
right.
because you're a Manning doesn't mean you're going to be a Manning.
I think the hype comes from we've saw the potential. We think it's there, and they're betting on potential.
I mean, they
like
had
like
potential written on Zach Rice too, but yet here we sit.
Zach Rice and old buddy is a completely different case. One was
5 stars.
proven. 5 stars playing against what kind of competition?
Des Evans, 5-star.
Playing against what kind of competition?
I don't know.
There you go. So just
I
like
don't know
when
what kind of.
Shador Sanders come in, he's a guy like, oh, okay, you're Deion Sanders' son. You've got to live up to the hype. And then he went out there and played. Now he actually played pretty well. At
Not
times,
that
give him
well,
credit
apparently.
there. Well, a lot of that has to do with attitude.
Oh yeah, Tony
Travis,
Grimes.
yeah, no, there's bust every day, but the potential is there for him. Now he's got to go prove it. But people are
Travis Shaw.
betting on potential. Now Travis Shaw, come on now. Come on now. Now you're just trying to be funny.
No, I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah,
What
they
did he
weren't
do? He
related.
didn't do much. He played 15 plays a game.
Allen, you need to go check your stats, sir. Do that. To be fair, they weren't related to NFL Hall of Famers, which is true. That's another piece of this. You're related to Hall of Famers. That'll help you. Just like in basketball right now, you got Kyan Anthony being Carmelo Anthony's son, going to Syracuse. Holy cow, here we go. Let's see what's going on here. You've got there's another one. Oh man, There was another. I cannot think of it who it is off the top of my head, but he's related to the Mannings, of course, and that doesn't help him. Now he's got to go prove it. We'll see if he does. He's got the build for it. I think there's a reason Travis Shaw is no longer here. But if we wanted him, he would still be here. I would like to see. I would like to understand why that is.
Travis Shaw averaged 12 snaps per game during his first 2 seasons, freshman and sophomore years at UNC.
That is the first 2. That's not after 4 years, kid.
Travis Shaw transferred to Texas.
This year. This is his last season. Yes, in his first couple of seasons, he was a true freshman on the defensive line. And then in his sophomore season, which was 20 did he come in with Drake? I think he came in with Drake. So this last season was his most productive. Was there a dispute with money on that, Ron? I think there was a dispute on money. I think that was like a big pay problem. And not only that, I think it's personally kind of weird to me at all of a sudden he shows up after Mac Brown leaves, he goes to Texas. And Mac Brown shows up in Texas. And one thing about Travis Shaw that was an issue is that he had a hard time wanting to work. And Bill Belichick's just not about that. We know that for sure. If you're on a Bill Belichick team, you're gonna work, son. Ain't gonna be. I'm just gonna sub myself out. We heard, you heard, Doc Staples and all them talking about it over at IC constantly about how he would check him out and he would check himself out and just kind of do whatever. And then there was sometimes he would, his hair would be on fire and he'd be going crazy. But for the most part, I don't know. I'll be curious to see if Travis Shaw makes the D line over there.
I'm sorry. I'm just calling it how it is. North Carolina has a recent history of 5 stars not panning out. And to hear a Hall of Fame coach say that he is not sold on a person's hype is not surprising. I mean, if he obviously can see talent when he knows talent. Just because you have a last name of Manning, you're not the automatic Heisman Trophy candidate.
He's a hater, dude. Come on now. Now I'm not saying
a hater.
I'm not saying that Manning is all of a sudden, the next Tom Brady. But the kid does look pretty good from when we've been able to see of him on the field, because he did get to see the field sometimes this year. He looked pretty decent. I mean, he looked pretty daggum good. Drake May and when he shows up in the bowl game against South Carolina, didn't look that great. But guess what he came in to be? Manning is in a similar situation. He now has to go, hey, we think he could be here. We believe from what we've saw from him, he could be here. Everybody is based off of potential. North Carolina has had busted 5 stars. You know who else has had busted 5 stars? Every team in the country has had a busted 5-star somewhere. Carolina and Mac Brown just seemingly did it a lot more consecutively, it would seem.
All of them?
But you look at all of them. But look at their work ethic. Every single one of them.
All of North Carolina's 5 stars did pan it.
Well, there you go. It happens. Arch will be fine. Thank you, Ron. I think he will be too. He's got a great supporting cast around him. I mean, Texas is one of the best teams in the country. I don't know what their recruiting looks like, but it looks like from what I've heard, it seems like they've retooled really good and they should be, one of the top 5, top 3, maybe number 1 team in the country. I don't know. We'll see what happens when poll time comes.
That Texas oil money. That gold.
We saw what happened to what's his face? Drake, Sam, and Hampton actually weren't 5 stars. They were 4s. They were high 4s. Put you that way. But boy, they played great. I'm excited to see what Amari Hampton does. Even though I hate that he's in the other version of LA, not the real LA. That's just me. Send that team back to San Diego. Get rid of them. Anyway, that's just me. Yeah. So Arch Manning, I think he'll be fine.
I didn't say it'd be fine. I'm just saying he's not. I don't see him winning the Heisman Trophy.
Okay. Who is?
I don't know. Not Arch Manning.
Go have your cigarette, you old man. Sit back, sit down, chill out. You're just the old man hating over, like doing a Sudoku on daggum like the rocking chair.
It's like one of those bets. You're going to take Arch Manning or the field. I'm going to take the field.
I want to see who has the best odds. What are the odds for Heisman next year? Heisman odds, not 2023. That's not telling me anything. 2020. Would it be technically 2026?
2026, yes.
Okay.
No, it'd be 2025.
Would it be? Okay.
No. When's the Heisman Trophy given out?
Season in. I thought it. All right, here we go. Arch Manning. Okay, here's the list. Oh wait. Yeah. This is because this got okay. Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier,
Cade
Klubnik, Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. What is Jeremiah Smith? It's
Lenoris Sellers at plus 1900.
Yeah. Julian Sand, Drew Aller, DJ Lagway, Florida, Dante Moore, Oregon, Carson Beck, Miami. So you taking Arch Manning or are you taking the field?
I'm taking the field.
You're just a freaking hater, dude. You are such a hater. Oh my gosh. Get Allen a shot and smoke. Yes, Ron. Yes, sir. Now, I will say one thing. I don't know how South Carolina built their team, but Lenore Saros will have a shot. If he got more accurate this year, he will definitely have a shot up there, being a dual threat guy. That's just me. But I don't see North Carolina winning the Heisman this year, but I do see them winning some games. So, Alan, since we know that our media day is
it might be revoked after this podcast comes out.
Who?
Our media credentials.
Yeah. Well, they might revoke you. I'll be fine. Should.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, dude, friggin' A. I got the stench rubbed all over me. But we know we got Media Day coming up, and we know after Media Day, that's when everything gets rolling. Thing. When does fall camp?
Definitely not 11-1.
On a Monday night, that's so they haven't given dates yet for fall camp. But normally after they do unlike last year. I hear you, Kevin. I did pick 11-1 last year. Didn't we both pick 11-1 last year?
I don't think so. Maybe. Who knows?
I have to go look at that one back. I don't remember seeing that season predictor. I watched it, but I think I missed the ending of it when I rewatched it recently. But I love it, Kev. But when ACC Media Day comes, that'll be about the time to do season predictors. Yeah, you both did. Oh, Kevin is our historian, brother. I hear you, dog.
Okay.
It's like, I've been waiting on y'all. I know what you said.
I got the receipts.
I got it.
Holding the feet to the fire.
Dude, I hear you, Kev. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. You know what we're going to start doing? This is what we're going to start doing. We're going to take a page out of Inside the NBA, RIP, Inside the NBA. We're going to take a page out of their book. anytime that there is, everybody, I love you guys. Love you too, Kev. Anytime that there is a hot take or we just do something, we're gonna put a sticky note right here on this wall. By God.
Okay. Okay.
On the Sunday Tar Heel, I'm gonna get me a pad of sticky notes. You know what? We're gonna put the
Oh, well,
first
go
one
ahead.
down. Arch Manning.
Arch Manning it doesn't win the Heisman.
Arch Manning. I'm gonna write that down right now. Give me some sticky notes, somebody. Oh man, I'm gonna write this down right here. Arch Manning.
I don't have any Post-its. I think my wife would frown if I started sticking Post-its on the blinds.
Yeah, she might not like that one too much. Arch Manning will not win Heisman. Got it. Allen on June the 29th. Yes, please don't. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Yes,
was
please
perfect.
do. Oh man, that is awesome. That is so good. Oh man. Oh. What else? What other kind of fun can you find here at the Sunday Tar Heel? Almost there. Said a lot of us had too much confidence in Mac. And Kev, you're 100% right. I figured, with your schedule really wasn't that hard. And now, can we play devil's advocate, or can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Please do. Please say you'd have won 11-1 if you'd had Max Johnson at QB.
No. What I do see is the fact that North Carolina, their win-loss record could have been a couple of games better, because think about it, the Georgia Tech game came down to, it was overtime. And you had Bryson Nesbitt, and was it Nesbitt or Copenhagen that dropped the ball in the end zone? Copenhagen. And Pittsburgh, you came back on them, and I forget what was it, the last. Did you allow them a field goal or something like that? So I mean, they could have been 2 games better. And then JMU happened. That's just horrible. And but now here's the flip side of that. If homeboy in Minnesota doesn't miss a kick, boom, there's another loss. You're not even a bowl team. If
Bro, the fact that he was an All-American kicker.
Oh, dude, yeah, he didn't miss another. I don't think he missed another field goal the rest of the year.
That's
JMU, GT, Pitt were winnable. I'll say
JMU should have been winnable.
Yeah. JMU should have been a fun game to watch, but Carolina pull it out by double digits, and that's why I took my buddy and my ex-girlfriend. Took them both. Great day. Got up there, had a good time.
Georgia Tech was winnable, but running quarterbacks had always been Matt Brown's downfall at North Carolina.
Yeah.
So that's always a coin flip, it seems like.
The JMU game was so bad, my relationship ended that week. And then Duke happened. You could have won Duke too. There you go. I forgot. Duke should have had that game. You was up 20-0. Yeah, 20-0, 21-0.
Oh yeah, never scored another point.
Never scored another point. Up 20-zip in that game and lost
21-20. That's terrible.
I mean, think about it. You could have been. That's 9. That's 9 wins. That's 9 wins if you just finished Georgia Tech, you finished Pittsburgh, and you finished Duke. All I had to do was kick a field goal.
If we finish all those, we'd probably still have Matt Brown as a coach.
That is true. JMU could have been the best thing that happened to our program, depending on how BB did. Mac Integer, he did, man. We went out swinging. Oh man, Mac Integer. Thank you, Mac. You know what, Mac? Hey, Mac, I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you, G.
Dap him up.
Oh man, dap him up. Maybe Mac should be on the podcast after all. I would be very curious to see how that would go.
I don't think it would go. I don't think he'd want to talk about, I'm not answering it.
Yeah. Well, you see. He's great at media. He is so good at media.
Yeah.
I was
always won the off season.
I was all about saving lives. and
All
they
about
weren't.
saving lives, you know.
I cannot get over that daggum. That was just hilarious to me.
We cared about
Yeah.
saving lives. We cared about players, personal feelings, and we COVID made a lot of
Yeah,
kids sad.
yeah, yeah. That was a
We just
weird
wanted to
season.
save lives.
But what's crazy is that Mac Brown's best seasons were during COVID. I mean, you put a good product on the field during that time. Why not after? That was just me.
They got sick.
Yeah, they got sick. Oh man. Matter of fact, the first time I ever had COVID, it was the day me and you went to that North Carolina Georgia Tech game when they were up, when they were 9-1 in the country. Drake May was going to be the Heisman, and it all came crumbling down.
Oh, buddy, sitting 2 rows behind us, just yelling the entire time.
Dude, he was so
Georgia Tech,
annoying.
Georgia Tech was ending North Carolina's future right there, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah, I see some parallels between Mac and Hubert Davis. Thoughts on that?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
Nah. I've seen Hubert Davis light into the players on the bench.
You crucified me last year for saying that. You straight up crucified me. It's not. What does that have to do with Mac Brown? I'm like, where is Mac Brown when we're starting to lose these? When we're starting to lose these leads, where's the Mac Brown that I used to see videos of in Texas and North Carolina, bringing guys to the center of the field? I'm like, no, this is we're not handling. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. They're just sitting there laying down. You mother. Happy Sunday.
And again, Hubert Davis is only responsible for
15
we'll
guys.
say 8. We'll say 8 because the other ones probably ain't playing in meaningful games.
Tar Heel
versus
schedules February. Yeah, go ahead.
Versus 11, 22, we'll say 50.
Mm-hmm. Do you
50 that have to play?
Right. Do you put, kind of going back to the 5 stars, I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you put the lack of success from our 5 stars on Mac, more on Mac or the player?
That's interesting.
Because here's the, and the reason I say more is because both of them have their hand in this cookie jar. But who do you think it shifts more to?
I think the recruiters should have to be looked at. And again, it's going to seem like I'm piling on this kid, and I don't. I'm not. It's out of Zach Rice. You're a 5-star. But a lot of the times you were playing against defensive linemen, probably my size, maybe a little bigger. You wasn't playing against the stiffest competition your entire football career. Now, that doesn't mean it's not your responsibility to become stronger and better at your craft once you get into a Division I program, a Division I workout, nutrition. You have access to all of that. You have access to the top trainers in the country. You should be able to become efficient at your size. You should be able to get stronger. The recruiters play a part. And I think it's more the position coaches that play the biggest because it's not like Matt Brown is in every position room coaching. He's not going room to room. Hey, this is a technique for this. Hey, this is a technique for this for that.
which is a luxury we have with Bill now. Go ahead.
It is, but at the same time, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to be in every room, every practice. Well, easy, Ron. Easy, Ron. We're talking about the Matt Brown days. We're talking about Matt Brown days. We're not talking about Bill Belichick days. Easy, pump the brakes. So yeah, I think it comes back more to what the recruiter's seen and the position coaches. Of course, that all falls under the Mac Brown and umbrella. So of course it falls back to Mac Brown because he hired the position coaches, he hired the recruiters, he signed off on sending them a scholarship. But players still have to play.
Right.
I don't think, and honestly, Des Evans got his senior got moved down to a 4-star, so I don't think he finished at a 5-star. But
I
still,
felt
four
like Dez
stars,
played his better season this last one.
right? I mean, to be in the NFL, it's elite of elite, and you got to be uncommon against uncommon people, if that makes sense, to be in the NFL.
What's North Carolina's slogan? Uncommon. That's the first thing that come to my head.
It's just a culmination of things. I don't think there's anyone. You can't just blame one person. I mean, 247s is the one that puts out the ranking. So maybe you find the guy that ranked Johnny 5-star a 5-star when he should have been against the competition he was playing. If you moved him to, you know, Dallas Baptist Mega University playing the best competition in the country, maybe he's only a 3-star. Because he can't handle a 5-star, a bigger, faster defensive lineman, offensive lineman, whatever.
Right.
So
No,
it's
I see what you're saying.
culminate. It starts who rolls downhill. It starts at the top and just travels.
Yeah, I think with one thing that I think recruiters know is that no matter what the ranking is, what does the film say? What does the tape say? What area? And another thing is that I just looked up Zach Rice is from Lynchburg, Virginia. Remember, one of the big conversation pieces was that North Carolina was switching. They were heavily recruiting the Virginia area. They used to be a big time hotbed for talent. Tony Grimes from that area. Or no, I think was he Charlotte guy?
Yeah.
Or is he Virginia? I think he was Virginia as well. But you had a number of Virginia guys that seemingly weren't panning out, and Carolina was starting to move down to Georgia, and that's where a guy like a Will Hardy comes from, and things of that nature. And you start to notice that some of these Georgia boys were just being better and seemingly adapting quicker. And for Carolina, think about the Georgia football, not your Georgia University, but the state of Georgia in football is ridiculously good. Same
Georgia,
thing with
Florida,
Florida. Yeah,
Texas, Alabama.
the Southeast and down there at Texas and everything. I mean, they're just ridiculous how good they are, man. And Carolina started picking up on that. And they started getting some guys out of that area that you noticed that, hey, man, these guys are it's where a
It's
Davion
the same
Goss
thing with baseball.
Bullet, Bullet comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere as a mid-tier, low-tier 3-star running back, and people are like, dude, he could be good. Demon June, the guy just joined North Carolina in the running back room. We'll see what he does, but he looks like he could be. I got a feeling that running back room is not set in stone whatsoever. I think they are potentially. There's a lot of guys. in the running back room that they can go in. But
That
you know what?
that is a true story.
Yeah.
UNC fans were up in arms when he got moved. When he got moved from a 5-star to a 4-star,
hmm
they were
That's it.
absolutely incensed.
That's it. That's it. But hey, we're gonna get out of here too, Ron. I appreciate everybody coming out here and hanging out with us today out here on the Sunday Tar Heel. This is the second edition of the Sunday Tar Heel. June 29th, 2025 is in the books, Sunday Tar Heel
Yippee!
wise. And now it's time to get on to this week. We got some cool stuff coming up this week. I want to talk about Hubert Davis some this week. Would like to talk about some of this quarterback interesting conversation that we got going on. And whatever else happens to pop up. I'm sure Alan comes up with a video or two this week. I believe in him.
I don't know, man. Might go
That's
into the
it.
night this week.
Oh, well, that is right. I forgot about that. It's good stuff. Anyway,
Good stuff.
so real good stuff. Snap, crackle, pop. But hey, no, thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for coming out with us and hanging out and chit-chatting it up in there in the comments. We really appreciate that. We'll see you guys next Sunday. We'll let you guys know what time we'll be out here. If anything is to change, I think next week is 4th of July.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be like a couple days afterwards. But yeah, I think it's like next weekend is the 6th, right? Yes, next weekend is the 6th. I got my little I got my calendar booklet right here. Yes, next weekend is the 6th. So there we go. There's that. So we'll see you guys on the 6th with that. Anyway.
And then after that, I'll be taking a 2-week break.
Huh?
I go on vacation the week after next. 12th through the 19th.
That is right. That's right. Because you said you're coming back from there and going straight to media day.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dog. That's crazy.
Yeah, so you'll have 2 Sunday Tar Heels without Tar Heel.
I'll make a phone call. I got a guy.
You got
I know
a
a
guy?
guy. I know a guy.
I know a guy. I know a guy.
I know a guy. Anyway. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always,
Go Heels.
go Heels.